that is the stock of the day. Weebit Nano, WBT is a ticker code. It has completed an $80 million institutional placement, raising funds to accelerate its ReRAM semiconductor technology. Now, Weebit placed just under 20 million shares at $4.05 each, backed by new insto investors from Australia and overseas. Settlement is expected in early April, with new shares hitting the ASX later that month. Capital is set to fund Weebit's push to become the market leader in resistive random access memory technology. Let's get a view from my expert guests. Dean Fergie from Cyan. I was a bit cheeky because I did see you on LinkedIn posting about this one. None of us, I will go so far as to say, can explain the technology in detail to viewers. So do you think that this is the sign of a company moving from, a story stock, so to speak, into, real push toward commercialization and adoption?
I mean, look, they're moving that way. They've got a agreement with Texas Instruments, and which they're looking towards commercializing this technology, but it's far from commercialized. They're losing tens of $1 million a half. I sort of said, as you mentioned on LinkedIn, I was very cynical because they had $80 million in the bank. They had a runway of at least 2.5 years in terms of cash funding. And they've come back to the market for somewhere between 87 and over $100 million if you count in the SPP. And my cynical view, you can argue if it's correct or not, is that if you're raising that much money and you've currently got a lot of money in the bank, are you saying the shares are undervalued or overvalued? And my view is they're saying they're overvalued. This is a company with not a lot of revenue that's capped over sort of $1 billion, I think 1.5 billion. Close to that. I'm a little bit just uncertain as to whether the technology is going to live up to the hype. It reminds me a lot of Audio Pixels, which had a better than everyone else audio technology for speakers in sort of commercial products, and never got commercialized. Again, it was sort of an Israeli-based technology company like Weebit Nano, capped at $800 million for a while, currently suspended. And I think actually was even removed from the ASX the other month. So I feel that there's a few kind of parallels there, but that's sort of my view overall. I think the company's probably valuing it too much for where they are at the moment.
Buy, hold, or sell today?
Yeah, definitely probably a sell for me. Yeah.
Luke, buy, hold, or sell for Weebit Nano?
Yeah, I'll say a sell as well, Nadine. It's not the type of business that I'm looking to own in the fund. It's a bit obviously early stage speculative. I'm glad Dean sort of brought up those comparisons, because at the end of the day, investing is a game of pattern recognition, and you build that up over time as an investor. And if you've been around in micro and small caps for 10, 15 years, we've seen sort of this sort of scenario play out a handful of times, which is speculative tech attacking, no doubt, a huge industry. Very difficult for your average investor. You alluded to it in the intro. Very difficult for your average investor to actually get a feel for what the technology does, how it compares to peers, and so the valuation just naturally goes to extremes and well beyond sort of any fundamentals. Dean highlighted the ones that inevitably crash and go bad, and there's as I said, probably handfuls or more you could point to. I saw that same LinkedIn post from Dean and noticed the same thing. Just the timing of this feels odd. You've got 80 mil cash in the bank. You're starting to ramp up this production, this commercialization. It just seems a bit odd to go and pick up another 80 mil now when you had a couple of years left in the runway. But maybe they've got plans to rapidly accelerate that. But end of the day, just too early for me, too speculative, and Dean summed it up well. It's just that valuation's well and truly ahead of any fundamentals today.
Got it. Thank you. So that's Weebit Nano, and a view from Dean Fergie and Luke Winchester, a sell on the day from both.